What if you had 60 seconds to say goodbye to everything you've ever known? Seattle, 2:22 a.m. Snow falls like cosmic tears as Carl stands in heart-patterned boxers, cradling Princess Donut in the final moments before everything ends. 1 minute until the world dies. But neither man nor cat knows what's coming. The flash changes everything. Carl clutches Princess Donut against a fractured wasteland where Seattle used to be. Giant, glowing text burns across the sky. Surviving humans take note. His world just became someone else's playground. And that red object at his feet, it's not supposed to be there. Blood trails across broken concrete as Mrs. Parsons rolls away, her head wrapped in crimson bandages. Carl stares in horror at his elderly neighbor, reaching desperately for help she'll never receive. The Syndicate's rules are clear: planet seized. 6 minutes until total annihilation. Time's running out. Just hours ago, life was simple. Carl lounged on his couch, controller in hand, shouting game commands into the night. Family photos smiled from the walls. His biggest worry was beating the next level. Now those peaceful moments feel like someone else's life entirely. The apartment fills with boxes marked BEA's crap, remnants of his failed relationship. Princess Donut plays among the clutter while Carl peers out at the falling snow. 5 minutes before the end of everything, and he's worried about a cat outside his window. Some priorities never change. His friend argues logic. It's not even Carl's cat. It belongs to his ex-girlfriend. Princess Donut can jump back inside anytime she wants. But Carl's already decided. Outside in the snow, the cat yowls with defiant independence, as if she knows what's coming. Carl tears through boxes of BEA's abandoned belongings, searching frantically for shoes. Polka dot shorts and desperation make for a ridiculous combination as he curses Princess Donut's timing. Where the hell are his shoes when the world has minutes left to live? Standing in the snow, wearing nothing but shorts and pink Crocs, Carl shouts up at Mrs. Parsons' window. The elderly woman appears in her pink robe, bemused by the late-night commotion. He apologizes for BEA's escape cat. She smirks, calling his ex-girlfriend a hussy. Normal neighborly chat, with 30 seconds left. Mrs. Parsons starts to say something about Beatrice being. The words cut off. Silence. Then the sounds begin, mechanical, alien, wrong. The air itself seems to explode with purpose. The countdown has reached 0. The friend who told Carl to leave the cat yells in panic, asking what he's doing. But Carl's not listening anymore. Brilliant light explodes around them as reality fractures. The universe itself watches as 2 men and 1 cat face the impossible. This is how worlds die. Snow covers cracked pavement where a neighborhood used to be. Carl stands in his polka dot shorts, cradling something blood-stained in the moonlight. Mrs. Parsons lies motionless, her face painted red with violence. He whispers the impossible truth. She's dead. Death has come to suburbia. Carl gestures at the hollow shell of an apartment building, blood staining the snow beneath his bare feet. Everyone inside gone. The entire city erased. 1 million people reduced to nothing in seconds. He stares at the void where his world used to be, trying to comprehend the incomprehensible. Princess Donut perches on Carl's shoulder as alien words assault his mind. He sarcastically mutters about emotional damage before questioning the term reclaim. When a holographic interface mentions World Dungeon, he can't help but ask, is this like Dungeons and Dragons? Even in Catastrophe, Carl finds time for nerdy references. The Borant Corporation's message burns into his skull. Violations have consequences. Carl demands to know who's watching this nightmare unfold. Standing amid debris in pink Crocs, he faces an impossible choice: descend into the dungeon or freeze to death. Some choice, that is. 18 seconds until the dungeon opens. 1 hour to enter or lose the chance forever. Carl's expression hardens as crimson light spills from the staircase leading down into darkness. The voice recommends finding a tutorial guild immediately. 5 days until what? He doesn't want to know. Inside the dungeon's grand entrance, Magical flames illuminate ornate architecture that shouldn't exist. Carl holds Princess Donut close as holographic warnings explain syndicate procedures and complaint processes. Then comes the species identification, Quati, the system's dominant race. There'll be a test later. Wonderful. Carl studies the floating interface, confused by its casual tone about the Quati. He realizes with growing dread that he closed the screen just by thinking about it. Lightning crackles around him as the truth hits. They're inside his head now. The aliens aren't just watching. They're connected. Running through dim corridors, Carl yelps as Princess Donut bites his hand. He grins despite the pain, calling her out by name. But their reunion is short-lived. Creatures skitter in the shadows ahead. Carl draws his sword and charges, then frantically slams a door behind him. Welcome to the dungeon. In a stone corridor, Carl notices something different about this message. It sounds almost like a game show host. Blue symbols float mysteriously in the air while he processes the shift in tone. Even in this nightmare, someone's trying to entertain the audience. The question is, who's watching? Carl's jaw drops as he realizes the impossible. Princess Donut can see the holographic text too. The interface identifies her as crawler number 4119, Princess Donut. His cat has become a player in this cosmic game. The blue light from the massive door ahead promises answers, or more questions. The system congratulates Carl as crawler number 4122, human class confirmed. His confused expression says everything as he dismisses the interface with a wave. But more notifications flood in. Bronze pet box received, achievement unlocked. Trailblazing crazy cat lady. Carl's new title would be hilarious if it weren't so terrifying. Carl frantically tries to close the persistent notifications, shouting about menus and stats as achievement windows multiply around him. Early adopter. Won the first 5,000 crawlers. The system mocks him with sucker while he desperately seeks control. Princess Donut watches as her human loses his mind over user interface problems. More rewards flood Carl's vision. Silver adventure box for having empty pockets. Bronze adventure box for arriving without pants. The system's sarcasm is brutal. You know you still gotta eat, right? Each achievement feels like a backhanded compliment wrapped in impending doom. The bronze weapon box appears with the loner achievement, entering without human companions. The system's advice? Safety in numbers. But the reward is nothing except mockery. Haha, you are so dead. Carl's face drips with sweat as the cruel words echo. A tutorial guild sign appears ahead. Salvation or trap. Carl steps onto what appears to be solid ground. The system immediately awards him fall into an obvious trap, because apparently stepping forward was a mistake. The reward? A sarcastic note about heaven and whether he's been too much of an asshole. Light explodes around him as the trap springs. The voice warns Carl he's about to meet his maker as a green-skinned goblin grins maniacally behind a massive spiked machine. Debris rains down around Carl as he screams profanities, realizing he's facing the business end of alien engineering. This is not the tutorial he was hoping for. The Goblin Murder Dozer roars to life, a steam-powered death machine designed specifically for crawler elimination. Carl clutches Princess Donut as the contraption barrels toward them with mechanical fury. The system helpfully suggests updating his tetanus shots. Goblins cackle with murderous glee as their trap unfolds perfectly. A goblin engineer shrieks his battle cry, while an information box warns about goblins targeting females in the party. Carl stares in disbelief. Why do these alien monsters look exactly like goblins from fantasy games? He pounds on the tutorial guild door, screaming for help while Princess Donut meows in confusion. The door bursts open, revealing an aggressive goblin demanding answers. A towering bear-like creature appears behind him, recognizing Carl as a crawler with hungover confusion. Carl begs for entry while chaos erupts around them. The guild awakens to find their peaceful morning shattered by a desperate human and his cat. Two masked figures block Carl's entry, casually discussing newsletter budget cuts while holding pineapples as weapons. Carl pleads desperately as they explain he took too long to arrive. Their indifference is maddening. Lives hang in the balance, but bureaucracy rules supreme. One hurls a pineapple at the frantic human. Carl demands to know how he can complete the tutorial if they won't open the door. A smug, anthropomorphic cat shrugs. Not my problem. Desperation takes over as Carl launches a devastating punch, Princess Donut in hand, sending a goblin flying in an explosion of blood. A health bar appears. This really is a video game. The goblin engineer charges with another maniacal shriek as Carl flees in terror, footsteps echoing through stone corridors. A massive mechanical beast approaches with grinding gears and steam. The guild's rules are merciless. Any living mobs near the entrance means the door stays sealed. Carl's trapped outside with death machines. Blood spatters as Carl eliminates the goblin threat, his face streaked with crimson. He tries to announce that no living mobs remain, but chaos interrupts his words. Someone yells for him to control his creature as Princess Donut apparently causes more mayhem. Carl grins despite the carnage. Donut, some pets are worth the trouble. Carl slams through the guild door with a primal roar, finally gaining entry to the cozy interior. A robed mouse creature greets him with mild annoyance, while another figure remains casual about the intrusion. Carl asks about exits. There are none. He acknowledges this grimly, as the room shakes with approaching threats. Inside the compound, Carl realizes he has 30 minutes before goblin reinforcements arrive. Princess Donut balances precariously on a shelf as he commands her to stay put. Crashes echo through the complex while Carl curses the impossible timeline. An armored vehicle lurks outside, suggesting this safe haven won't stay safe for long. Carl declares he can't afford to be passive anymore. Action is required. The goblin engineer leaps from a ledge, grabbing desperately as he plummets toward the stone corridor below. Medieval architecture echoes with screams as goblin meets gravity. Sometimes the best offense is letting your enemies defeat themselves. Blood streams down Carl's face as he shouts in shock. There's goblin in his mouth. The taste of violence overwhelms him before he delivers a devastating kick, blood spattering across the battlefield. His expression shifts to grim realization. This goblin is stronger than the others. The tutorial just got deadlier. Carl unleashes a series of brutal attacks against the zombie-like creature, punches that spray blood, grabs that set up devastating throws, kicks that send enemies flying. He grabs a massive hammer and brings it down with a bone-crushing thunk. The gothic interior echoes with violence as Carl discovers his capacity for combat. Carl stands next to the blood-stained, armored vehicle, frustrated by his limited damage output. Each kick barely scratches these monsters. He sighs in exhaustion, cursing his situation while trying to avoid vomiting on goblin corpses. The compound reeks of death and diesel fuel. Welcome to dungeon life. Carl braces against blood-stained walls as warnings echo about goblin corpse etiquette. The goblin murder dozer explodes in a shower of debris while he exclaims in disbelief. Incoming! Someone screams as he slams against the door frame. Another voice yells brace as mechanical death approaches. The tutorial's final exam has arrived. The explosion rocks everything as Carl sits bloodied and dazed on the ground. Mordecai, a rat-like humanoid guildmaster, demands to know what the hell Carl just did. The NPC's fury is palpable as he surveys the destruction. Carl looks up with frightened eyes, realizing he may have broken more than just tutorial rules. Carl clutches Princess Donut close, blood on his face and confusion in his eyes. He demands answers about this nightmare dungeon while questioning if everyone is really dead. The bear-like creature tries to calm him, acknowledging his bewilderment with understanding. Sometimes comfort comes from the most unexpected sources. Mordecai points emphatically as he shares his story. He was a dungeon crawler just like Carl, making it all the way to floor 14. His vest and serious expression convey hard-earned wisdom. At floor 10, crawlers get the chance to exit. The deeper you go, the better the offers become. Hope exists with a price. Quatin holds a glowing orb, explaining his contract with the Borant Corporation that traps him in this tutorial role. Carl's battered face shows confusion as he learns about human-seeded worlds and recurring cosmic patterns. The truth is bigger than Earth. They're just the latest victims in an endless galactic cycle. The mouse-like Mordecai grows exasperated. Humans always want to know why. Carl reacts with shock at the term human-seeded, demanding the quick version of whatever cosmic horror he's stumbled into. Mordecai sighs, preparing to shatter Carl's remaining illusions. First off, kid, your world is gone. The hits keep coming. Mordecai shows Carl a mirror, revealing his past as a handsome skyfowl before changing species on floor 3. The explanation unfolds. The syndicate seeds species across planets, waiting for civilizations to develop. When a working government exists, they legally claim first contact. It's conquest through bureaucracy. A figure atop a pyramid gestures to the night sky as the Borant Corporation's true plan unfolds. They purchased Earth's mining rights. Carl sits stained with blood, expressing horror at the corporate efficiency. They killed everyone on Earth for a fraction of a percent profit. But Mordecai points directly at him. They want something more valuable than minerals. Snow-capped mountains give way to tropical scenes as the narrator explains Earth's transformation. Dungeon entrances now the planet, each bringing fresh contestants for the universe's most popular show. Groups of survivors gather at entrance points, unaware they're about to become entertainment. Welcome to Dungeon Crawler World. Carl learns the crushing truth. This isn't just survival, it's entertainment. Mordecai explains that death is the ultimate thrill for cosmic audiences. Armored fighters battle in gladiatorial combat, while the rat declares his job is showing newcomers the ropes. Carl hisses in response, overwhelmed by the theatrical nature of his nightmare. In a sleek digital environment, Carl navigates holographic menus with Princess Donut in his arms. His bruised face shows concentration as he swipes through interfaces, zooming in on mini-maps and studying his stats. Strength 6, Intelligence 3, Constitution 5. The numbers that will determine whether he lives or dies in this cosmic game. Carl stares at his stats screen, frustration boiling over. Why is his intelligence so pathetically low? Mordecai gestures animatedly, explaining that intelligence governs spell power and duration. For regular humans, 3 to 5 is normal. Carl's strength of 8? Actually impressive. But then the rat's expression turns deadly serious. This next screen determines everything. Your life depends on these numbers. In a bright conference room, creatures of all kinds gather around streaming metrics. The presenter explains the brutal economics of survival. If people watch you, sponsors follow. The Borant Corporation will broadcast highlights in 30 hours. Getting featured means drowning in viewers, drowning in loot. Getting on that broadcast? It's like winning the lottery. But there's a catch. You can't just kill and walk away. The mouse flexes his muscular arms, shouting about killing with style. He's activated Carl's inventory system, a game-changing ability. But there's a dark warning that makes Carl hesitate. Anything living placed inside will die. The mouse's casual delivery of this death sentence highlights the twisted nature of their reality. Even basic game mechanics come with a body count. Holy shit indeed. The rat's eyes widen in shock as he realizes what Carl possesses. A legendary pet box, Princess Donut, isn't just any cat. Carl's confusion mirrors our own as the revelation hits. Why didn't anyone mention this earlier? But Carl's impulse to violence is checked by cold reality. He can't punch a level 50 opponent. His urge to hit gauge reads 25% and climbing. The harsh truth stings. Carl nearly died to a level 3 goblin engineer. His pride takes another hit as he learns boxes can only be opened in safe rooms or guild halls. But frustration gives way to action. He decides to open them now. Achievement notifications explode across his vision. Killed an armed mob with bare hands. The absurdity isn't lost on anyone watching. Achievements rain down like confetti at a funeral. Boom! Wall-shaking explosion. The system's humor is as dark as it is inappropriate, comparing the destruction to his mother's visit. Then comes podophilia, another twisted milestone. Carl stares at the pile of treasure chests before him, each one a potential game changer. But here's the catch. Choose one, and they all open. What? Carl's disbelief echoes as the bronze pet box materializes in a burst of magical light. Items begin appearing. Healing biscuits, potions, common fingerless gloves. Each materialization comes with its own poof of sparkles. The magic feels real, tangible. This isn't just a game interface anymore. These items could mean the difference between life and death. The toad cudgel appears, a big stick for bonking. Bonk toad, bonk ma, bonk girlfriend. The system's descriptions blend humor with functionality. The poker follows, perfect for prodding and fancy murder mysteries. A treasure chest jingles into existence, revealing antidotes and more supplies. Every item comes with its own personality, its own dark joke embedded in the code. Dynamite and a lighter materialize, 5 charges of destruction. The goblin pass appears, glowing green with a spectral face. Carl clutches it as magical energy courses through him, crying out in pain. The warning is clear. Holding this pass makes fairy-class creatures deal 20% more damage. Still, he admits it looks kind of badass. Beauty and danger intertwined. Light explodes from a ribbon-adorned chest. A warning flashes. If a night gaunt sees this ring, they won't be pleased. The splatter skunk ring grants strength, but comes with a humiliating catch. It's a toe ring that makes you look like a hippie juggler. New achievements unlock, promising better loot chances for skilled dodging. Every reward carries its own unique humiliation. Another bronze box appears with whimsical sound effects. An enchanted pet biscuit floats through purple mist before dropping with a soft talk. Carl examines it skeptically. That's it. The warning is ominous yet playful. It looks like a regular pet biscuit, but it's not. Feed at your own risk. What's the worst that could happen? In the cozy workshop atmosphere, the raccoon-like creature offers wisdom about the magic item. Give it to your pet in a safe room, or hold on to it for thousands of gold at shops. The effects vary. The only way to find out is to try it. Princess Donut's bright eyes sparkle in the foreground, drawing focus. Curiosity and caution war within Carl's expression. Princess Donut's oversized face dominates the frame, those yellow eyes holding secrets. Carl's internal struggle plays out in painful honesty. She's just a cat. He can't even protect her properly. I'm all she has left in the world. The weight of responsibility crushes down as he contemplates the unthinkable. Then, chomp! She bites him, breaking the tension with perfectly timed comedy. Chaos erupts as the small creature springs from shadows, eyes gleaming with hunger. So tasty! Carl's wide eyes reflect both fear and determination as he prepares to face this unexpected threat. The sound of impact, sklat, heightens the moment. But then the scene shifts to comedic aftermath. The creature lies disoriented while Carl waits anxiously, holding a donut.
What the hell happened to my cat? Carl's fury burns against the red backdrop. The mouse reassures him. Nothing can harm crawlers or NPCs in tutorial guilds or safe rooms. Cascadia's holographic form appears with cheerful authority, announcing the dungeon is now sealed. Her blue skin and dynamic pose project both power and mischief. Carl's expression shifts to worry as reality sets in.
The numbers are dropping fast, from billions to 10 million in mere hours. A military figure delivers cold statistics about second-floor access being delayed for 30 hours. The blonde corporate representative thanks volunteers for their service, wishing them good luck. Meanwhile, Carl faces mockery from a bear-like character about his clothing choices. If you're going public, at least wear pants first. Carl's disbelief is written across his face. He can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired someone. Princess Donut sits nearby with disdainful superiority, letting out an annoyed snort. Carl's astonishment explodes into the open. Did the donut just talk? The reality of his situation shifts yet again as the impossible becomes mundane in this twisted game.
Purple smoke swirls as Princess Donut delivers cutting commentary from her cushioned throne. That stuff will rot your brains, she warns with feline smugness. Her two-tone coat and perfectly tucked legs project regal authority. She continues her gossip session, mentioning family drama about not being invited to her son-in-law's wedding. Even transformed, she retains her catty personality. Past and present blur together. A red-haired champion receives her trophy while Carl sulks nearby. Cut to another memory. Carl gaming intensely with Princess Donut in his lap. I am pushing. He's low. Kiltacular. His excitement is infectious as he celebrates virtual victories. But the cat's claws dig in, reminding him that even good moments come with pain. The phone conversation reveals Carl's resignation mixed with affection. Fine, you win. You can stay, he tells a little shit. He doesn't care where Beatrice goes. Stay in the Bahamas. He'll look after Donut and her belongings until parents can pick her up. The desk shows a cheerful photo while Princess Donut purrs contentedly nearby. Domestic normalcy before the storm. Purple smoke swirls as Princess Donut introduces herself with full regal ceremony. My name is G.C. Burr N.W. Princess Donut, the Queen, and Chonk. She demands proper address. Princess or Princess Donut will suffice. But not in high company. The muscular figure responds with playful seriousness about maintaining decorum. Even in this nightmare, protocol matters to royalty. The mouse bursts into laughter at Princess Donut's pompous introduction. Check her stats, he suggests with glee. The screen reveals her incredible attributes: Strength 11, Intelligence 11, Constitution 2, Dexterity 8, and Charisma 25. Carl stares in disbelief at numbers that dwarf his own. This cat isn't just royal by attitude. She's royalty by raw power. Holy shit. Carl's shock explodes as he points dramatically. Why is her intelligence so much higher than his? The explanation cuts deep. No additional stat points per level means she's stuck with base constitution and dexterity. But that charisma suggests bard potential. 2 points every level will add up fast. Carl questions the bard class while the wise cat observes his competitive struggle. Carl's frustration mounts as he contemplates restarting the tutorial. The goat-like guide explains how crawlers are immune to Princess Donut's charisma effects, but dungeon inhabitants won't be. For the first several floors, that charisma number is huge. But Princess Donut calmly suggests patience. That's not necessary. Her confidence suggests she has a plan.
Sad, really. Princess Donut's dismissive comment cuts through the air as dark mist swirls around her form. The mouse casually activates Carl's menus while gesturing toward treasure chests glowing in the background. Suddenly, poof, one chest bursts open, revealing mysterious green bottles and items. The anticipation builds as magical energy fills the space around them. Glittering magic erupts as the silver adventurer box opens. Items materialize in brilliant purples and blues. A tome of magic missile, pet biscuits, swirling treasures of power. The mouse watches eagerly as Princess Donut maintains her smug expression. Then the big reveal, a legendary quadruped box appears. The enchanted crown of the sepsis horn materializes, its ornate design promising both power and peril. That sounds ominous. Carl's wariness is justified as the small character warns him to read the description. Princess Donut has already mastered the magic missile spell, impressive adaptation. But the crown brings danger with its power. Very valuable, very risky. Princess Donut sits contentedly in her sparkling crown while Carl sighs at their predicament. Beauty and peril intertwined once again. Warning panels detail the crown's royal lineage and deadly consequences. Carl questions whether Princess Donut should wear such a dangerous item. But she's determined. It's purple, matching her championship ribbons. Do you know what it takes to get a purple ribbon? Her pride overrides caution. In this twisted game, even achievements from Cat shows become symbols of power and status. The fleeting enchantment means the crown will crumble to dust if removed. But worse, if another crawler gets it, that's one more person Carl will have to kill. The word hangs in the air like poison. Kill. What the hell is he going to do now? Princess Donut reveals her escape plan. Help her reach level 18 to get out of this hell. Congratulations, Carl. The mouse announces their new party structure with enthusiasm. Princess Donut has named their group the Royal Court of Princess Donut. Carl has been promoted from manservant to royal bodyguard. Princess Donut claims the title of Grand Champion Best in Dungeon. Carl's confusion is met with casual explanations about party leadership and superior stats. Really? Yes, really. As they prepare to leave, warnings echo in the air. Remember, that crown is on her head, not yours. The anthropomorphic guide advises caution until the 9th floor. Blood is visible outside as shadows walk past. Any tutorial guides will transport them back to this room. Good luck with your exit deal. The ominous farewell hints at trials ahead that make current dangers seem trivial. Final warnings pierce the air like daggers. No matter what they tell you, it's not worth it. Even then, negotiate as much as you can. Not until floor 12. The muscular creature's intensity burns into Carl's memory. Remember, Carl stumbles backward, the weight of these cryptic warnings hitting him like physical blows. What horrors await on those higher floors? The cryptic warning echoes in Carl's mind. Better to die than take an exit deal on floors 10 and 11? His laugh is bitter. He thinks I'll make it that far? Then reality crashes down. Holy shit, 3 million people just died. In 1 hour. The magnitude of loss staggers him. Carl, we need to get moving. Survival isn't guaranteed for anyone. Huh? Carl's confusion mounts as Princess Donut outlines their wandering plan. They have approximately 29 hours before the aliens air their television show. But first priority, finding Carl some pants. His heart-pattern pajama shorts aren't suitable for cosmic entertainment. I will not be presented to the universe in such fashion. Even in apocalypse, dignity matters. The absurd banter continues as they walk through the grand corridor. Social media comments will surely mock the pants situation. Beautiful cat, but why isn't the boy wearing pants? Carl fires back. You're not wearing pants either. Princess Donut's royal dismissal is perfect. Imakat. Cats don't wear pants. Don't attempt to be droll. Even humor has hierarchy. Carl's frustration explodes as he gestures wildly about separation. The cat-like creature doesn't understand the concept. 3 million humans are gone, and somehow this creature is more okay than him. Cats are assholes, Carl declares with bitter honesty. I get it. Their endearing quality? It's because they don't talk. Now that barrier is broken forever. Wait, Carl, wait. Princess Donut calls out as he tries to leave. Don't. I'm sorry. Wait. Her voice carries unexpected vulnerability. Carl's hoodie is stained with red, evidence of their struggle. Forget it, he responds, but she persists. What? I'm sorry. You're right. In this moment of tension, something shifts between them. Old wounds resurface as he remembers sitting in that spot. In the dreamlike blue atmosphere filled with floating bubbles, Princess Donut explains her royal obligations. I'm a grand champion, Carl. I'm supposed to act a certain way. But Carl sees through the pretense, recalling memories of her sitting in his lap during gaming sessions. Watching him get fragged over and over in Call of Duty. You really suck at that game, he teases. But you keep playing. The cat admits she liked those moments. Carl suggests they both need each other, that neither wants to be alone. Oh, I am a princess, Carl, she declares with renewed confidence. But I'll try not to be too much of an asshole. The emotional truth builds between them as vulnerability meets royal decree. They're stronger together than apart. Carl reflects on a pivotal moment from the past. When the passes were clear, he could have returned Princess Donut to Beatrice's parents. But he didn't want to. He was looking at apartments, making sure they allowed cats. She playfully accuses him of planning to catnap her. His flustered denial only confirms what they both knew. Their bond was already forming then. I know. Carl's resigned acknowledgement carries the weight of truth. Okay, they need to keep moving through the grand hallway. Princess Donut reminds him she's not wearing pants because he decided to jump out the window. If I hadn't jumped out the window, We both be dead right now. The banter masks deeper truths about their survival choices and growing partnership. In the surreal dream landscape, Carl peers into darkness with confusion. What do you see? Princess Donut watches with mischievous yellow eyes. Suddenly, a red beam shoots across the scene with explosive force. What the hell? Carl shouts as chaos erupts around them. The atmosphere crackles with electric anticipation as action intensifies through bold lines and dynamic movement. A monstrous wolf roars, displaying razor-sharp teeth and imposing presence. An explosion blooms in the distance as Carl and Princess Donut observe together. Okay, there it is, she notes calmly. Carl suggests waiting to identify targets before randomly shooting. What if that had been a person? But Princess Donut's response is logical and cold. That's quite obviously not a person, Carl. Bah, eh. Carl's panic is infectious as he yells for another missile. The supernatural being behind him channels lightning through their hand while a monstrous dog with glowing red eyes growls menacingly. Sounds of impact, WMMP, plish, punctuate the chaos. The dog's fiery glow and sharp teeth promise death. Energy surges as magic and terror collide in explosive violence. The bad llama appears, level 3 and dangerous. Despite its potential for trade, the warning is clear about its spit attacks. The wolf-like beast forms a fiery orb in its mouth, while Carl braces for impact in his black hoodie. Hawk Tioli, the flaming projectile hurtles forward. This isn't just a game anymore. These creatures mean business, and business is deadly. Lava. Carl's astonishment is justified as orange lava splatters across the scene with a violent splat. Princess Donut explains matter-of-factly that the llama is spitting lava. Shoot again. Carl demands, but reality hits hard. I'm out of mana. The mouse's confession reveals their vulnerability. Another fiery projectile launches with Hawk as flames dance around them. Absurdité meets mortal danger. Carl turns to face the wolf's snapping jaws with grim determination. His arm glows with magical energy as he prepares to strike. Snap! The sound of impact echoes as blood splatters. Splat! His expression shows both grit and anger as he fights against the monstrous creature. The battle stakes couldn't be higher. It's kill or be killed. Carl grips his arm as pain throbs through his body, highlighted by the red effect. Despite his heart-patterned shorts, he launches a powerful attack with a glowing orb. Princess Donut unleashes her own fiery assault, burst, as flames erupt around them. But the energy backlash catches them both. URK. Even victory comes with a price in this deadly game. Thud. The bad llama crashes down, flames and smoke erupting from its wounded body. Carl rolls on the ground, clutching his injured arm. My arm. Shit, this hurts. His anguish is raw and immediate. The episode title appears, Dungeon Crawler Carl, before cutting to Carl examining his holographic health display. Debuffs show his deteriorating condition after the brutal encounter. So fast. Carl examines his stats with apprehension, noting the active debuffs, fatigued warning. This is no good, sloppy. Princess Donut lies bloodied with a plunk, emphasizing their dire situation. You can't be injuring yourself in every minor tussle, Carl warns. What we need is to level up. The shadowy castle environment around them promises more dangers ahead. They need to be more careful, or they won't survive. Victory brings its own rewards. Princess Donut proudly claims her damage percentage, while Carl watches the lootable corpse sprawl before them. But who gets to loot first? The AI cheerfully declares Donut's priority before urging Carl forward. His hands rise, summoning a virtual inventory interface. The spoils of battle await. New achievements flash across Carl's vision like digital fireworks. His eyes widen as rewards cascade down. A new look, taking damage, releasing dominant energy. Each brutal lesson earns its prize. Carl clutches Princess Donut, his heart racing with unexpected exhilaration. But even in triumph, strategy whispers warnings about the dangerous main thoroughfare ahead. Donut races ahead down the corridor, her paws pattering against stone. Carl's voice echoes behind her, "Don't get too far ahead." But panic strikes as distant screams pierce the air. "Help! Help!" The sound of gunshots ricochets through the halls. Carl's blood runs cold. What fresh hell awaits them now? Dash! Carl sprints through the corridor, his bare feet slapping against cold stone. Princess Donut protests her undignified position as he clutches her to his chest. "We don't know what's out there," she warns with feline authority. "You can't just run off like that." Carl's determination wars with embarrassment, but survival trumps dignity. "It's not safe," Carl declares, still holding Princess Donut close. Then horror creeps from the shadows. A giant cockroach emerges in the distance. Scatterer. Level 1. Donut's disgust is immediate and vocal. "Carl, kill it," she demands. The peaceful moment shatters as reality strikes. Even the smallest threats can be the deadliest. "You know this is not supposed to miss, right?" Carl questions his weapon as green splatter erupts behind him. SRAT. Pound. The explosion paints the walls while Princess Donut basks in her experience gain. "Oh, gross." Carl grimaces at the mess. But Donut's sarcasm cuts deep. "You didn't even do anything." Princess Donut perches regally atop Carl's head, claiming credit for her mentorship. Huh. Carl's confusion is palpable as they continue down the corridor. But then absurdity strikes again. Why the hell is there a bathroom in a dungeon? Even in this nightmare realm, basic human needs create the most bizarre contradictions. "Oh good, I got a wee," Princess Donut announces with royal enthusiasm, leaping toward the bathroom door. "Wait," Carl calls out urgently, but she's already bounding ahead. "What the?" he starts, watching his feline companion approach the mysterious door. "We don't know if, but some calls of nature can't be ignored." "Your turn," Princess Donut declares after emerging from her royal facilities. "No," Carl responds flatly to whatever suggestion she's made. "But why does a dungeon have kitty litter?" He questions the bizarre logistics. "Where's the soap?" Even apocalyptic game shows, hygiene matters. The absurdity of their situation grows with every mundane detail. "This doesn't make sense," Carl mutters as Princess Donut warns of approaching monsters. "They're bigger now, but why would the system make gross bugs even more disgusting?" A green canister falls, releasing strange substance as magical red streaks slice through the air. Carl braces himself. The dungeon's cruel logic grows deadlier by the hour. "What do you mean I have to do it myself?" Carl's confusion turns to protests. "No," but Princess Donut's determination shines through. "I'll take care of it," she declares with feline confidence. Behind them, a massive spiky insect bounces menacingly, its health bar filling. Some battles can't be avoided. "Try this." Carl hurls his glowing weapon forward. The creature prepares its own assault. Headbutt. But Carl's attack sails wide. Sigh. Frustration flickers across his face before determination resurfaces. He leaps forward, barefoot connecting with brutal force. Kick. Sometimes the simplest weapons are the most effective. Pop. The creature bursts in a shower of green goo, splattering across the tiles. Ugh. Both Carl and Princess Donut grimace at the disgusting aftermath. But victory brings rewards. New skill. Foot Soldier. Level 1. 10% more damage when kicking. Carl glances at the bathroom sign, restricting access to paying customers. Some victories come with unexpected perks. Huh, Carl mutters, emerging from the bathroom stall in polka dot shorts. But chaos erupts as a crowned monster bursts through the door, lunging straight for him. Carl spins away, startled by the sudden attack. Outside, he faces two doors, Tutorial Guild and Cowgirl. Even bathroom breaks aren't safe in this twisted game. "Carl, are you sure you don't need to go?" Carl asks his companion while standing before yet another toilet. Why are there so many bathrooms? His confusion deepens as he examines a glowing map. Princess Donut explains with feline wisdom. Every Tutorial Guild door leads to Mordecai's room. The dungeon's architecture defies all logic. Does every bathroom door lead to the same toilet? Carl's investigation continues as he emerges from another identical bathroom. All is the same bathroom, but understanding brings no clarity. Why would they program such redundancy? Princess Donut's concern grows. Carl, I'm worried about you. His obsession with toilets isn't healthy. But in this place, nothing is. I need to go back to you stomping on cockroaches, Carl sighs, cradling Princess Donut as they walk away. It was less upsetting. She agrees with feline wisdom. But as Carl steps forward, smush. His bare foot finds the remnants of their previous battle. New achievement. Smush. Even accidents earn rewards in this twisted game. Heavy breathing fills the air as Carl contemplates the system's twisted lessons. Taking your bare foot, placing it on a living creature, then pressing down until life ceases. Is there a more noble way to kill? The skill description chills him. 10% more pressure with each level. I guess we're not getting you shoes, Princess Donut observes grimly. Yes, we are. Carl insists about getting shoes. As soon as possible. Princess Donut's yellow eyes gleam with mischief. It sounds like the computer fancies you, or your tootsies at least. We need to take advantage of that. If it likes us, maybe it'll go easier on us. Strategic thinking wrapped in feline humor. It makes me uncomfortable, Princess Donut admits with rare vulnerability. Being eaten by a llama makes me uncomfortable, Carl. Her sophisticated facade cracks slightly. You're probably just tired, Carl reassures her gently. You'll feel better after you sleep. We've been up all night. Even royal cats need rest. It's not even morning, Carl reflects wearily. God, it feels like days. They need to find one of Mordecai's safe rooms for answers and rest. As they enter a grand, illuminated corridor, Princess Donut's eyes widen in wonder. What is this magical place? Even exhaustion can't diminish her curiosity about their strange new world. Bonk! Princess Donut launches herself from the massive cat tree, the biggest Carl has ever seen. What? He starts, turning toward the noise. The cafeteria stretches before them with modern fixtures and a serving counter. A waitress in uniform stands ready to help. Carl leans forward, astonishment mixing with intrigue. Finally, civilization of sorts. Hi there. Carl greets the bearded gnome behind the counter. Do you wish for food? Tally responds, his chef's hat slightly askew. What do you have? Carl asks, looking for a menu. Tally explains apologetically. He's new here too. This dungeon opened without warning, so preparations are incomplete. But food is still available. I am not prepared for cat, Tally admits, but I have milk. Carl brightens. Princess Donut really likes yogurt. Though I'm not supposed to give her too much, he adds. Begets, what exactly? The blonde server's enthusiasm contrasts with Carl's cautious responsibility. Is there anything you recommend? Sometimes the simplest solutions work best. You wish me to make food of my choice. Tally clarifies behind the counter. Sure, Carl agrees. As long as it's not fish. The chef asks about spice tolerance, 1 to 5 scale. I like it spicy, Carl responds. For if humans can handle it. Even in apocalyptic circumstances, good food matters. Will you be renting room? The blonde server asks. The preview starts in 10 hours. What preview? Carl inquires. The show, Dungeon Crawler World, Earth. It will explain everything. Sure, we'll rent a room, Carl decides. Good. Go shower, rest. She bids Tally good night as they prepare for whatever comes next. Good night, crawlers, Tally calls out as they leave. The kitchen dims behind them, neon signs blinking. But the real journey begins now. In the shower, Carl stands overwhelmed by cascading water. This is all so much, he whispers. The weight of their situation crashes down harder than any monster attack. Where are the towels? Carl questions, soap suds dripping from his muscular frame. Too much, he mutters through gritted teeth. Meanwhile, Princess Donut lounges regally on pink bedding, crown glinting. She sticks out her tongue, playfully. Shaking yourself dry is something dogs do, Carl. Even hygiene becomes a lesson in species pride. This place is so weird, Carl observes, finally dressed and ready for rest. It's got to be at least 2 days since I last slept. Let's rest just for a bit. He sinks onto the bed, exhaustion winning over anxiety. Maybe when I wake up, it'll all be over. Hope mingles with desperate denial. Are you alive? Princess Donut's voice cuts through sleep's haze. Yes, Carl responds groggily from their shared bed. Come on, let's go get food, she urges with typical feline persistence. Carl sits up, still processing the transition from dreams to harsh reality. But hunger waits for no one. This smells amazing, Carl exclaims over the steaming ramen bowl. His first bite transforms his expression into pure bliss. This is so good, he mumbles through the food. Princess Donut watches eagerly from beside her own bowl. Tally, darling, that was amazing, Carl praises. Sometimes the simplest pleasures shine brightest in darkness. I'd like another, Princess Donut declares from atop the table, crown sparkling regally. Yes, your majesty. The server responds with genuine reverence. Carl enters the scene, startled by the royal treatment his feline companion receives. Her sunglasses gleam as she basks in the attention. Even in apocalypse, some cats know their worth. Welcome to the safe room, the display announces. First level, 20 rooms available for 0 gold. But the numbers tell a darker story. Only 4 million people left. It was 10 million before, Carl realizes with growing horror. The mathematics of survival paint a grim picture. Ah, excellent, he says, forcing optimism despite the odds. Maybe now we can get some proper answers. Princess Donut declares as the official review begins. Welcome to the premiere. The crawl has an illustrious history with trusted corporations taking turns hosting. Not good way to watch show, someone notes. Need plugged-in experience. The stunning conclusion to last season haunts everyone's memory. I do not like last season's game format. A voice declares ominously. They break people into groups, tell them their loved ones will be safe if they kill others. Then everybody kills one another. The swirling vortex reveals floating structures as chaos erupts below, bloodied people fighting desperately. The game's true horror unfolds. Winner stands victorious amid the carnage. Are they what? Carl asks quietly. Are their loved ones safe if they win? The question hangs heavy. They live, comes the grim confirmation. But Squim saps planet dry, eliminating atmosphere entirely. No hope for survival remains. Victory becomes just another form of death. But first, a word from our sponsor. The green frog character shouts enthusiastically in his blue suit. A red megaphone spins dramatically, emitting flashy sound effects. I hate commercials, Carl mutters from the kitchen. Well, I'm convinced. The sarcastic response punctuates the absurdity. Even Apocalypse can't escape advertising. But now it's time to get educational about Earth. The green creature beams in his smart suit. The Syndicate chose a human-seeded start for this planet with an interesting variation. Earth is known as a scrappy fighter. Carl watches in bewilderment. What exactly are they learning about their own world? Earth humans, while hilariously primitive, are remarkably creative. The voiceover continues as chaos unfolds. 2 men struggle with a heavy box during a retail frenzy. A girl in pink skips through a field toward a deadly mine. Click! The sound of imminent danger. Jesus, the boy reacts. Human ingenuity for cruelty astounds even aliens. Hang on, that's from a movie. Carl objects as an explosion fills the screen. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. The distressed woman cries dramatically. The Borant Corporation dedicates itself to preserving Earth culture while discussing rules about staircases and boss-guarded passages. Reality and fiction blur disturbingly. That's it for your sneak peek. The frog concludes enthusiastically. Will any crawlers be brave enough to face a boss? The ranking shows over 4 million remaining crawlers. What the hell, Carl mutters. Half of that was for movies. They're making it look like they're saving us from ourselves. The propaganda machine spins truth into fiction. We should open our boxes, Carl suggests, standing barefoot in his minimal attire. You can go first, he offers Princess Donut. Carl, look, she exclaims excitedly. I got this for being in the first 100 crawlers to level up my magic missile. Poof! Magical light erupts from her treasure chest. Rewards await the bold. The crown-wearing cat bursts with energy, creating dramatic magical effects. A fairy's boon grants new skills to those who remember the slate butterfly's tale. Donut, be careful, comes the warning. That skill doesn't mean you can't get hurt when landing. Zoomies, Princess Donut declares, zooming through the kitchen with supernatural grace. The spiky-haired character dismisses firmly. Not all worlds are picked for the show. Sometimes they offer deal, take people in exchange for not mining world. The colorful mushroom landscape stretches before them under rainbow skies. All babka, take note. The exchange rate for survival becomes brutally clear. They came. I went, the wizard-like figure recounts before the magical portal. We were not interesting enough to watch die. The bearded man emphasizes their urgent need for strength and popularity. We need to be interesting if we want fans. Fust, the cruel mathematics of entertainment drive survival. Thank you, Tally. Thank you. Both of you, the crowned creature says with genuine affection. Why is he thanking me? The dark-haired boy wonders. Come on, Carl. Let's go find one of those bosses, he urges. We'll be back once we're done killing. The friendly farewell turns ominous with unspoken implications. The crowned cat struts with confidence, tail sparkling dramatically. Now, how are we supposed to find one of these bosses? Carl wonders aloud. We follow the enemies, he declares with newfound determination. But then hisses. An unseen creature announces its presence. The hunt begins, but who's hunting whom? Carl crouches low in his combat stance, dark coat billowing around his determined frame. Small creatures scatter as he kicks forward with devastating force. Kick! Energy lines explode from the impact point. Another character watches in wide-eyed astonishment as Carl's attack creates a thunderous thwomp. Sometimes simple techniques pack the greatest punch. The massive black insect attacks with menacing intent, but Carl's bare foot finds its mark. Smash! The creature crumbles under his decisive blow, while Princess Donut zips through the air, crown gleaming. The groups are getting bigger, Carl observes grimly. Victory tastes sweeter when earned through raw determination. We must be getting closer to their nest, Tally observes, gesturing at the green slime coating the corridor floor. Of course I do, Princess Donut responds proudly. My slice attack is at level 4, and my back claw is also level 4. Shinga. Her abilities far exceed Carl's raw strength. But what awaits them in the creature's nest? Carl's expression turns protective as he warns about their companion's fragility. The crown-wearing Princess Donut purrs beside him, her large eyes glowing with mysterious power. But even in this tender moment, Carl's tactical mind remains sharp. He discovers something valuable, scatterer hemolymph, an alchemy ingredient that could prove crucial. The sudden thud echoes ominously. What new threat approaches? The mood shifts as Carl strides confidently down the lavish corridor, Princess Donut cradled in his arms. Golden sconces illuminate their path, but green debris tells the story of recent carnage. Carl's enthusiasm is infectious as he declares their next move, to hunt more creatures. His smile radiates determination as he acknowledges their partnership. Together, they found their rhythm in this deadly game. Carl's tactical mind calculates their survival strategy, hit hard from a distance. Princess Donut listens intently, her crowned head tilted with feline wisdom. But a wooden door blocks their path, adorned with Spanish warnings from Health Center. Carl's hand rests against the barrier as uncertainty clouds his features. The language barrier threatens their progress. Can Princess Donut decipher what lies beyond? Carl dismisses the sign with casual confidence, Princess Donut perched regally on his shoulder. As the heavy door creaks open, darkness greets them like a hungry mouth. Princess Donut's enhanced senses detect the scattered low-level creatures within. But something else lurks in those shadows, something her abilities cannot identify. The unknown entity waits in the blackness, defying even her mystical perception.
The stench hits Carl immediately, a nauseating wave that makes him recoil. Princess Donut trails behind, curiosity overriding caution as they enter the foul chamber. Carl grips the goblin dynamite, its volatile nature promising devastating results. His voice carries deadly calm as he warns Princess Donut to prepare for escape. The explosive sits ready in his palm, a heartbeat away from chaos. Carl's frustration erupts as the system glitches mid-sentence, leaving him hanging in digital limbo. Then boom, the explosion shatters the silence, Princess Donut's eyes widening in alarm. Carl's anger flashes as he curses the system's timing. His heartbeat pounds like a war drum as he shouts urgently to Princess Donut, "Run!" The single word carries the weight of survival. Carl's promise echoes as he prepares to follow Princess Donut's lead. A female figure emerges, her blonde hair catching the light as she prepares an explosive device. The match hisses ominously in her red-stained hand. Carl launches himself from the ledge, debris scattering around his dark form as he plunges into action. His battle cry pierces the air, "Geo, Geo, Geo." Carl's fist clenches with desperate determination. Kabum! The explosion rocks the corridor, filling the air with smoke and destruction. When the dust settles, Carl lies bloodied and broken among the debris. The system's warning flashes ominously, low health. His body screams in agony, but his spirit refuses to surrender. Every breath is a victory against the odds. Princess Donut trembles violently, her regal composure shattered by the chaos surrounding them. Carl's pained groan echoes through the blood-splattered darkness. The digital interface coldly catalogs his suffering, stunned, concussed, deafened. Yet through this agony comes unexpected triumph. Level 5 achieved. His explosive expertise has grown through pain and sacrifice. Sometimes growth demands the highest price. Carl surveys the aftermath with grim satisfaction, believing they've eliminated the immediate threat. But his bare feet remind him of basic needs. He desperately requires proper equipment. Princess Donut observes with curious detachment, somehow finding music in the mayhem. The achievement notification mocks their situation. Damaging a dungeon boss might be the last accomplishment many players ever earn. The game's twisted humor never rests. Shink! Chains rattle as something massive stirs behind the wooden barrier. Carl stands defiantly before the heavily chained door, fiery energy swirling around his determined frame. The ground begins its ominous rumble, sending tremors through the ruined structure. Slither echoes from the growing pile of unstable rubble. Carl's shocked exclamation, "WOH!" barely escapes as the very foundations begin to crumble beneath his feet. Boss battle. The system's cheerful announcement contrasts sharply with Carl's growing dread. Princess Donut demands immediate evacuation, her usual composure replaced by genuine fear. She scratches frantically at the door, her royal authority meaningless against the approaching threat. Carl grips his explosive charge, muscles tense for the confrontation ahead. Boom! The final explosion signals the beginning of something far more dangerous than anything they've faced. The explosion tears through the chamber like divine wrath, rocks and debris flying in a maelstrom of destruction. Carl braces against the chaos, his level 5 status feeling insignificant against what emerges. Then she appears, the Hoarder, level 7, her dark hair framing a face of eerie calm. Princess Donut's cheerful image provides stark contrast to this new threat. The Hoarder's protective instincts toward her treasures promise a battle unlike any other. Boom! Debris erupts skyward as Carl stands amid the devastation, torch and detonator in hand. His shocked curse echoes through the crumbling architecture, the magnitude of destruction overwhelming even his battle-hardened nerves. Carl's eye widens with terrible understanding. Borant is using innocent people as weapons. A reaching hand suggests something sinister approaching. The woman's agonized expression reveals someone struggling against forces beyond her control, her Spanish words conveying stomach-wrenching pain.
Carl's voice carries grim certainty as he identifies her humanity. But recognizing her as a person makes the situation even more horrifying. What has Borant done to these poor souls? The woman clutches her stomach, Spanish words spilling out as pain overwhelms her. She doesn't understand what's happening to her body. Carl confirms what his heart already knew. She's definitely human. Her desperate cry for help pierces the air like a blade. Another voice urges action, declaring they should help her. But how do you save someone who's been twisted into a weapon against their will? The infected person doubles over, vomiting green corruption as their body rebels against Borant's manipulation. Carl's sarcastic response, "Yeah, that'll be a no," reveals his harsh pragmatism. Princess Donut watches with concern as another figure runs frantically through the chaos. The infected soul cries out in Spanish, begging to understand their location. Fear, overwhelming pain. Carl's profane exclamation captures the absolute horror of their situation. Some battles have no winners. Carl prepares for combat against the insectoid horrors, his blood-splattered cloak telling the story of previous battles. Princess Donut expresses her disgust at their surroundings. Even her royal sensibilities are offended by the grotesque scene. She urges Carl to take another mana potion, understanding the desperate nature of their situation. He grips the glowing elixir, fire already dancing around his form as he prepares to leap into action. Black spiders swarm across pink flesh as something sharp slices through skin. Slice. The infected person stumbles in agony, their Spanish words revealing stomach pain beyond endurance. Carl reaches out desperately, trying to communicate across the language barrier. His urgent plea, "Hey, can you understand me?" echoes with futile hope. But his final command to stop carries the weight of someone forced to make an impossible choice. The woman retches violently, green poison spilling from her lips as her body fights against Borant's corruption. Carl watches with pained recognition. Borant orchestrated this transformation. His chained fist clenches with determination as another voice states the cold truth. She's still dangerous despite her humanity. The command rings out with grim necessity. We need Tio, stop her. Sometimes mercy means making the hardest choice of all. The infected person shouts warnings about advancing giant cockroaches, their desperation cutting through the chaos. Princess Donut complains about her fire cooldown while clutching a glowing potion, her royal frustration evident despite the dire circumstances. Another figure prepares an energy whip, dramatic cloak billowing as they ready for combat. The urgent command to jump signals immediate peril as the insectoid army approaches. No time for strategies, only survival. Carl strikes with his chain weapon, each impact echoing through the chaos. Whip. Slink. The infected person's blood-stained face twists in agony as they plead in Spanish. Poor favor. Their desperate cries pierce the air as Carl's weapon finds its mark. Each blow carries the weight of mercy, disguised as violence. Sometimes the kindest act is ending someone's suffering before it consumes them completely. The woman desperately calls for support, her voice cracking under strain. Carl encourages her efforts, but his words miss their mark. She needs tactical assistance, not emotional cheerleading. Her frustrated correction rings out as she leaps through the spider-infested chaos. Carl's profanity echoes his growing desperation as chains bite into his flesh. SKHSKSHK. His foot crashes down with decisive force, each step a battle for survival. Carl's agonized scream, ARGH, splits the air as blood splatters violently across the chamber. His desperate call for Princess Donut reveals his growing panic. The infected woman strains against forces beyond her control, choking as corruption overtakes her humanity. Another voice declares her approaching death with clinical detachment. Carl's profane command demands she use her claws, fighting fire with fire, monster with monster. Sometimes survival requires embracing the darkness within. The infected boy struggles through debris, his black cape torn and bloodied from the brutal encounter. His pain-filled expression speaks to wounds both physical and spiritual. Above, another victim realizes the full horror of their situation. OHSHIT. Crash. More destruction rains down as a giant cockroach thunders past. Thump. Princess Donut's excited declaration that she can shoot again provides the only hope in this nightmare scenario. Carl darts through flying debris, his focus absolute as he evades the chaos surrounding them. The muscular man clutches his wounded abdomen, pain etched across his features as he recoils from fresh injuries. BOO and THUM echo through the battlefield as destruction continues its relentless march. In Spanish, the man offers a heartbreaking apology. Sorry if he was a bad person. Even corrupted souls seek redemption in their final moments. The woman's scream of pure agony tears through the air, tears and blood staining her face as terror overwhelms her. She begs not to go to hell, pleading desperately for Jesus to save her soul. Carl watches with a mixture of anger and profound sadness, his simple words, "I'm sorry," carrying the weight of impossible choices. Crunch. The sound echoes with finality, marking the end of another soul's torment. Sometimes mercy wears the mask of violence. Bodies litter the arena floor alongside giant crabs as URK and SPLUID echo through the carnage. A winged figure slides lifelessly to the ground, adding to the grotesque tableau. The system announces the royal court of Princess Donut as victors, complete with a ridiculous cartoon mascot. But Carl's expression radiates pure rage as he stares at the devastation. His accusation burns with righteous fury. Borant did this to her. The true enemy finally has a name. Carl's voice carries cold understanding as he identifies their true enemy strategy. The alien game show doesn't just want to kill them. It wants to break their spirits first. His expression shifts from grim determination to deeper pain as he continues his analysis. They want participants to suffer, to lose their humanity piece by piece. The jagged red background reflects the psychological warfare being waged against every survivor's soul. Carl stands amid the debris-strewn battlefield, papers floating overhead as he processes their situation. His chained arm speaks to the power he's gained through suffering. As he grasps a crucial document, his expression brightens with tactical understanding. The mini-map expanded. New information floods his enhanced interface. He swipes through the data with practiced efficiency, each gesture revealing more of their digital prison's layout. Knowledge is power, even in hell. Carl studies the holographic map interface, his jaw set with concentration as confusion clouds his features. His surprised exclamation dies mid-word as Princess Donut makes a shocking discovery. Her wide eyes gleam with excitement as she announces the impossible, another person on their mini-map. Carl's expression shifts to stunned realization. After all the death and corruption, could there really be another survivor? But the achievement notification suggests level 3 codes at their location. What does that mean for their newfound hope? Princess Donut expresses indignation at receiving only a bronze boss box, when she clearly deserved legendary rewards for their epic battle. Carl examines the neighborhood map, his expression grim as he confirms another player's death just outside a safe room. His tactical mind immediately shifts to opportunity. They need to loot her corpse and investigate what killed her. The threat might still be lurking nearby, but resources are too precious to abandon. Carl points decisively at the glowing holographic map, his finger marking their destination with military precision. The detailed grid reveals strategic points of interest, each marker potentially containing allies or enemies. But beneath his tactical planning lies a deeper desire. He wants to speak with someone named Mordecai. The urgency in his gesture suggests this conversation could change everything. What secrets does Mordecai hold in this deadly game? The tutorial guild's wooden door stands before them like a gateway to answers. Carl's frustrated curse reveals his growing anxiety about their situation. A blurry underwater scene suggests disorientation before focus shifts to Mordecai, a rat-like humanoid who grimaces as he begins his explanation. 6 types of bosses rule this hellish hierarchy: neighborhood, borough, city, province, country, and floor bosses. The shadowy figures with glowing red eyes promise escalating nightmares ahead. Carl's surprise deepens as Mordecai explains they face the most common type of boss, apparently the easiest challenge in their deadly hierarchy. Princess Donut proudly confirms they fought it alone, her crown gleaming with regal confidence. Another barefoot character questions how such a brutal encounter could be considered easy. But the mood shifts dramatically as an ominous figure warns of someone with world-changing power approaching. Carl contemplates the terrifying implications of these words. The gray-furred creature asks whether the brutal corruption they witnessed will continue plaguing future encounters. Mordecai's response offers slight comfort. Not always, though recycling from previous game iterations means familiar horrors might return. Some elements come from human-seeded planets, but the obvious connections should diminish. There are rules governing such things, though his tone suggests those rules can be flexible. The bottles on the table catch reflected light, hinting at deeper mysteries. Mordecai promises more boss encounters during the premiere episode while advising them to find safe rooms for potential matches. The mouse-like creature complains about receiving torches instead of better rewards. Carl announces his intention to open his box, dismissing his companion's torch complaints with practical indifference. As smoke pours from the opening container, surprise fills the air. A legendary item emerges. Princess Donut leaps toward the prize with characteristic enthusiasm, her glasses gleaming with anticipation. Princess Donut assumes her authoritative tone, warning Carl about examining items before equipping them, a lesson learned through experience. Carl's curious skepticism meets the revelation of a torch spell, which creates a following light. While he dismisses it as stupid, Princess Donut and the bear-like creature defend its utility. Their whimsical debate about magical practicality provides a moment of levity in their grim circumstances. Even in hell, they find reasons to argue about spells. Carl eagerly assesses his rewards as blue energy illuminates his surroundings. His iron punch skill advances to level 3, enhancing his already formidable combat abilities. Multiple treasure boxes explode in magical splendor. Bronze boss, silver goblin, and gold crowd control varieties promising different rewards. The interface reveals the tome of wisp armor alongside practical items like dynamite, a lighter, and gunpowder. Each reward represents another tool for survival in their increasingly dangerous world. The magical inventory displays various potions and scrolls as mystical energy explodes in colorful glory. Carl stands astonished, witnessing these supernatural manifestations with wide eyes. SHNK. Spiked knee guards retract with mechanical precision, their hedgehog-like design reflecting 10% damage back to attackers. Carl's bemused expression captures the absurdity of their situation. Even protective gear comes with quirky descriptions that somehow maintain humor amid the horror. Mordecai acknowledges the spellbook's value while noting Carl's mana limitations. 5 required, only 3 available. He suggests waiting to determine Carl's build direction or giving it to Princess Donut. But Princess Donut interrupts with characteristic authority, declaring her intention to claim the book without even examining its contents. The tome of wisp armor promises magical protection with stylish benefits. Her confidence in magical acquisition knows no bounds. Carl decides to keep the spellbook for later, while Princess Donut suggests investigating nearby areas for valuable items. The scene transitions to a brightly lit room where a blonde woman greets someone named Tally. A furry creature approaches another character, producing curious purring sounds. The narrator humorously notes humanity's instinct to form suboptimal groups as a large notice flops down, announcing the season premiere of Dungeon Crawler World, Earth Edition. Carl expresses alarm at the slaughter unfolding around them, his concerned expression highlighting the dire situation. A lizard character gestures optimistically, explaining how survivors quickly adapted to their circumstances. The scene reveals intense combat as a muscular blonde fighter wields dual knives, blood spattering dramatically around him. A diverse group of fighters stands united, weapons ready for the approaching threat. Even a colorful girl faces down massive spider creatures with canine companions by her side.
A grotesque creature riddled with arrows staggers under the coordinated assault of 7 determined fighters. The title winner glows triumphantly as blood streaks paint the aftermath of their victory. The scene shifts to show Carl and a small pink creature sitting quietly, their stillness contrasting sharply with the previous chaos. But the tension escalates again as the camera reveals a dark underground space filled with menacing giant ants. From triumph to terror in mere moments.
Glitching monitors flash rapidly as Carl expresses frustration about their lack of screen time despite their epic battle with the Hoarder. Princess Donut joins his complaint, indignant that defeating 15 borough bosses and over 1,500 neighborhood bosses earned them no recognition. A holographic blue figure suddenly appears, praising everyone's efforts. Princess Donut's excitement peaks as she claims recognition. That must be us. Finally, acknowledgement for their extraordinary accomplishments. Carl listens as a blue, fish-like creature recounts encountering a city boss with predictable, devastating results. The creature mentions that losses remain on projected tracks as Carl smirks, sharing technical updates about inventory mechanics. Transport-killing exploits have been patched, and momentum preservation has been removed. His lighthearted delivery of these gameplay changes contrasts with their deadly implications. Even in a death game, patch notes matter. Carl walks with determination as he explains that bathroom doors should no longer explode when opened by others. A bizarre, but apparently necessary safety update. His urgent command to get out there reveals growing pressure from unseen forces. His expression brightens as he reflects on humanity's instinct for unity and mutual support. The detailed map view highlights their current strategic position, but his incomplete thought suggests interruption looms. What threatens their hopeful moment? Carl reacts with instinctive horror to an unseen command involving violence, his alarmed expression showing fierce opposition. A single-eyed creature seems to urge deadly action. The harsh command "kill" echoes with increasing intensity, accompanied by violent motion lines. Crawler Rebecca W. lies defeated and bloodied, her fate sealed by brutal combat. A distressed character with long brown hair reflects the aftermath's emotional toll. The game's statistics coldly catalog another fallen player. Carl inspects the corpse of Crawler Frank Hugh, noting the bullet wound that ended their life. Princess Donut expresses shock at the violence while declaring Frank an unsavory character. Carl examines his glowing map with growing concern. No other blue dots indicate nearby players. His anxiety deepens as he wonders whether people can hide from detection on the minimap. The possibility of hidden threats transforms their digital advantage into uncertain security. Blood pools around another victim as Carl kneels beside her, examining the devastating injury. Princess Donut makes inappropriate comedic observations about the wound, suggesting perhaps a Cocker Spaniel was responsible. Carl insists she was shot with a firearm, but Princess Donut persists with her dog theory. Maybe the dog had a gun. Carl contemplates the chilling possibility of using an inventory weapon for similar purposes. Even humor cannot mask the growing paranoia consuming every survivor's thoughts. But what happens when your greatest enemy isn't who you think it is? Carl sits casually, his determined expression masking growing unease as he explains someone called Angel to Princess Donut. The cat's crown glints as she listens with curious eyes. Their light banter about magical inventories takes a chaotic turn when Angel's bark echoes off-panel, a sound that promises trouble ahead. Terror strikes when Carl's voice cuts through the air like a blade. Do not speak that name. His wide eyes reflect genuine alarm as he warns Princess Donut about the dangers lurking in every shadow. This dungeon crawls with killer cockroaches and drug-dealing llamas. Yet something else as Carl truly spooked. His warning about keeping their gear secret hints at predators far more dangerous than bizarre creatures. Carl's defiance crackles with raw emotion as he faces down a nightmare from his past. "This guy doesn't scare me," he declares, but his words carry the weight of old wounds. Behind him lurks a woman with dark hair, her anxiety palpable. Then the memory strikes. A figure in black with glowing white eyes, twisted smile promising violence. The boy's accusation cuts deep. "You're a bully. It's why Mom left." The shadowed figure demands respect with red eyes blazing, but Carl calls out desperately. "Carl?" His voice echoes with concern as Princess Donut approaches, offering comfort in this blood-stained chaos. A moment of tenderness breaks through the darkness as Carl softens, admitting uncertainty. Who is she? The question hangs heavy. Another victim whose story will never be known. The haunting questions cascade like falling stones. What was she doing outside at 2:30 a.m.? Carl stares at the blood-smeared face of a girl with wide, terrified eyes, forever frozen in fear. How scared would she have been? The blue notification box appears against crimson darkness. Killed by crawler Frank Q, only to be killed by a fellow human. The ultimate betrayal in humanity's darkest hour. Carl's resolve hardens like steel as he declares his intent. Someone looted her corpse, took everything she had. I want to find him. Princess Donut's skeptical gaze meets his unwavering determination. You're seriously not scared of that guy? Her question hangs in the air, but Carl's answer comes without hesitation. No, not at all. Some battles must be fought, regardless of fear. Princess Donut's memory proves razor-sharp as she quotes Carl's earlier bravado word for word. "Just 2 seconds ago you said some imbecile with a gun doesn't scare me." Her crown sparkles with mischief as Carl explains the difference between being a wimp and going full Charles Bronson. Death Wish references flow naturally. Apparently Miss Beatrice's TV habits have educational benefits beyond cooking shows. Technology becomes their secret weapon as Carl demonstrates the chat function. Princess Donut's excitement bubbles over. "Oh goody, I love the chat function." Her enthusiasm for their spy mission contrasts with Carl's practical concern about her caps lock shouting. The simple joy of discovery momentarily lightens their burden. Sometimes the smallest tools become the most valuable allies. Strategy takes shape as Carl manipulates the blue holographic interface. His gloved hand activates options with decisive bloops, outlining their hunting plan. Stick to the neighborhood where their map advantage holds strong. Hunt down the red dots for easy experience. The anticipation builds as they prepare for the next floor. Every decision brings them closer to survival or deeper into danger. Princess Donut's magical whistles streak red through the debris-filled hallway, but power has its limits. Carl's amused critique hits home. Those magic whistles run out fast, and her slash attack needs work. The fluffy cat's uncertainty shines through. What if it hits me back? Her fear of retaliation reveals the paradox Carl can't understand. How can someone be both reckless and timid simultaneously? Instincts clash with logic as Princess Donut admits her struggle. "I can't control my instincts." Carl's mockery cuts deep. He's seen her pedigree, knows she's generations shy of the ferocious tiger she claims to be. The tavern door looms ahead, familiar territory in their dungeon wanderings. Dark humor emerges as Carl delivers the crushing blow about her grandfather also being her uncle. The virtual map reveals their next challenge. Holographic floors stacked like a deadly pyramid. Carl analyzes the layout, noting how each floor grows smaller as they descend. His tactical mind processes the eastern route before the stairs appear. But when the map highlights the sheer number of red dots indicating goblins, even his confidence wavers. That's a lot of goblins. The VWRRR sound echoes ominously. Adrenaline pumps as Carl tears through the tunnel on his motorcycle, the RUM of the engine drowning out everything except his racing heartbeat. Green-skinned enemies with menacing masks pursue relentlessly, their eschelique movements promising violence. Carl glances back desperately, calling for his companion. The chase reaches breakneck speed, but will he escape their clutches? Green energy erupts from Carl's raised hand as he commands the chaos to halt. Wait! His desperate shout cuts through the tension while Princess Donut perches atop his head, crown gleaming. The goblins lurk with mischievous expressions as Carl asserts his authority. I have free passage through this area. Will his claim hold weight against their savage instincts? The goblin's surprise is palpable as Carl repeats his declaration with unwavering confidence. A goblin in red cap and goggles panics, clutching his companion while shouting chase. Their makeshift vehicle loses balance in spectacular fashion. Carl moves with expert precision, maintaining control while dust and sparks fly. The abrupt halt sends ECH reverberating through the cobblestone streets. Victory tastes sweet as Carl reveals his ace in the hole. The tattoo worked. The magical mark that transforms hostility into neutrality. His holographic map glows blue with successful results, confirming their strategy paid off. But curiosity burns in the green-skinned rider's eyes as he questions Carl about the mysterious mark. Where did you get that mark, human? Some secrets demand answers. Carl's mind races for a plausible explanation when Princess Donut decides to help, in her own dramatic way. She announces how Carl blew up one of their tractors and smeared 3 friends across the cobblestones. The green-skinned enemy's eyes widen in shock. God damn it, Donut, Carl mutters through gritted teeth. Let me do the talking. Sometimes allies cause more chaos than enemies. Carl's confidence shines as he claims ownership of the tattoo, while Princess Donut boasts about her 37 charisma points. Watch this, she purrs, her crown catching the light. The green-skinned figure shifts nervously as the fluffy creature addresses him with unexpected sweetness. What's your name, sweetheart? The power of charm begins its insidious work on their would-be enemy. References fly as Princess Donut introduces their goblin companions with A-team names. B.A. Face and Murdoch. Carl questions their purpose while chaos erupts with a piercing RED. The goblin engineer appears with manic intensity, wild features promising either brilliant innovation or explosive disaster. Princess Donut commands attention, demanding to see their top engineers. The goblins comply with uncertain enthusiasm. Princess Donut's correction rings with authority as she sets the record straight. Wait, it's not ma'am. Her pride in being best in show radiates through every word. The green-skinned character with spiky red hair scratches his head in bewilderment. It's Princess Donut, she declares regally. You got that, B.A. Her charismatic dominance leaves the goblins speechless and slightly terrified. The pink screen glows as Princess Donut reveals her devastating secret weapon, 37 charisma points that can control dungeon creatures. Mordecai's teachings echo in her explanation. Her charm affects everyone who isn't a boss or high-level threat. For the first 4 or 5 floors, she can talk anyone into anything. Carl listens with growing appreciation for his feline companion's hidden power. The Goblin Bombard demonstrates his explosive expertise, glowing orb pulsing in his oversized hands. His blue and gray outfit marks him as skilled craftsman, while Princess Donut's charismatic influence spreads through the workshop. Goblins joke about missing fingers, a dark humor masking the deadly serious nature of their work. The shaman appears with his pineapple staff, yellow robes flowing with mystical authority. Hostility crackles as the yellow-green-haired goblin spits his venomous welcome. You may have a pass, but you're not welcome here, human. Carl remains calm, hands in pockets, explaining his vehicle needs with diplomatic precision. The goblin's sharp teeth gleam as he leans forward with predatory interest. Oh, honey. The threat and flirtation blend into something far more dangerous than simple rejection. Bewilderment spreads as the goblin shaman demands explanation for the chaos unfolding. Can we discuss what's going on here? Princess Donut lounges contentedly, comparing the other female shaman's facial piercings with casual cruelty. That other lady shaman doesn't have nearly as many things in her face. Her observation about explosive appearances and fantastic bread creates a surreal moment of dark comedy. Shock transforms into savage excitement as realization dawns. Yes, yes, it is. The goblin's eyes gleam with newfound understanding while Princess Donut's influence spreads like wildfire. Magical objects float ominously overhead as the atmosphere shifts from confusion to dark anticipation. The revelation about eating someone raw adds a cannibalistic edge to their growing allegiance. Ninjas bestowed by Princess Donut. What strange loyalties are being forged? Negotiations begin in earnest as the goblin addresses Rory about the requested vehicle. The murder dozer proves too valuable. The chieftain would literally kill them for trading it away. Rory shifts the conversation toward practical exchange, presenting various potions, tools, and materials spread across the cluttered garage. Everything has a price in the dungeon, and freedom isn't free. Disappointment clouds Carl's features as he surveys their meager offerings. Is this all you have? The goblin's defensive response reveals their source. A llama they were supposed to trade with yielded surprisingly little. Carl's concern about ownership grows. What if it belonged to someone important? The goblin's insistence that everything is dungeon-made raises more questions about their isolated economy. The goblin's certainty about the potion's origins becomes crucial. This is dungeon-made. It didn't come from outside. His examination of the curious glass reveals deep knowledge of their underground economy. Princess Donut commands from her perch, instructing them to move forward with regal authority. But Carl's hesitation grows. Where exactly did they acquire these mysterious substances? Deal. The goblin's enthusiasm explodes as agreements take shape. Get to work, you lazy bastards. His command echoes through the workshop as workers scramble to action. One chopper, chop chop. The pink creature rests beside him, a symbol of the strange alliances forming. Energy crackles through the industrial space as goblins transform from potential enemies into unlikely allies. Tenderness breaks through the chaos as the goblin asks the fluffy creature a simple question. Do you want to come with us? His expectant expression meets the creature's large, expressive eyes. Carl stands nearby in his heart-patterned pajamas, shock and uncertainty written across his features. The goblin's sigh in the final panel carries weight. Sometimes the most important decisions bring the deepest disappointments. Family bonds prove stronger than freedom as the goblin explains his impossible choice. I cannot. His words carry the weight of loyalty and obligation. The chieftain may be terrible, even soft, but he's still leader of the clan. My family. Even with escape within reach, some chains can't be broken. The shadowy figure behind him emphasizes the darkness of their situation as danger lurks on the staircase below. Knowledge becomes currency as the goblin reveals his understanding of their deadly game. He knows enough about the system to understand the stakes. When the floor collapses in just days, those who don't escape will fall asleep until the next dungeon opens. His confident explanation carries an ominous undertone. What happens when they drag everyone down into the deeper levels? Resignation mingles with dark hope as the goblin accepts their fate. And it's just another day. His words echo with the routine nature of their struggle. But one day they'll wake deeper in the dungeon, away from crawlers forever. Floor 2 looms ahead with its promise of increased danger. The purple energy's signature hints at the malevolent force commanding. Kill the crawlers. The goblin's wild grin reveals sharp teeth as he delivers his savage motivation. Get better at killing. Earn your freedom. His enthusiasm for violence chills as the shadowy figure's outstretched hand promises control and dominance. Yet hope emerges. If they descend deep enough, crawlers will never reach them. Finally, they'll have peace in a bustling goblin town where freedom might actually exist. Dreams of peace pour from the goblin's heart as he envisions a safe haven. Peace and a place to live and breed and have our little ones run free.
His hands cradle a crown with a purple gem, symbolizing hopes for a brighter future. Sparks fly as bang and twist echo through the workshop. The welding torch creates something new, perhaps the vehicle that will carry them toward their dreams. Carl's specific demands interrupt the goblin's work as he pats his shoulder with determined confidence. It needs to be bigger and purple. The wrench gleams in the goblin's grip while mechanical parts surround them. Suddenly, a metallic clink shatters the air, launching something off-screen. What chaos has their customization request unleashed in this cluttered garage? Clank and KSHHA herald the creation of their masterpiece, a skull-adorned motorcycle pulsing with vibrant energy. The goblin's urgency explodes as he demands their end of the bargain. Okay, we had a deal. Where'd you find the stuff? Princess Donut's revelation carries whimsical absurdity. The drugs came from one of those llamas just one neighborhood over. Even in this deadly dungeon, the most ridiculous explanations often prove true. The intimidating llama looms in the shadows as the goblin's excitement reaches fever pitch. I knew it. His wild enthusiasm transforms into military precision as he commands his forces. Gear up. They've been holding out on us. VRROM and put fill the air as machinery springs to life. The open doorway frames their preparation for war. A meth conflict between goblins and llamas is about to explode. Disbelief colors Carl's words as the absurd reality hits him. Do we really just start a meth war between the goblins and the llamas? Princess Donut's smug satisfaction radiates as she claims credit. Yes, we did, just like I planned. Her crown catches the light as Carl contemplates the benefits. Killing the chieftain could net them another boss box. Sometimes chaos creates the best opportunities. The large wooden door stands ominously in the debris-filled space as Carl voices his growing concern. We have no idea what's behind that door. Princess Donut's innocent question about killing the chieftain contrasts sharply with the red-tinted vision of danger flashing through Carl's mind. The weight of their reckless decision settles like a stone in his stomach. Caution wars with opportunity as Carl weighs their chances. The boss grows stronger with each passing moment, making their window smaller. Two figures in edgy outfits voice what everyone's thinking. This plan is really dumb. Their observation about the ultimate dick move after receiving help adds moral complexity to their violent intentions. Sometimes the smartest choice feels like cowardice. Carl's sigh carries the weight of inevitable decision. And then we kill the chieftain. Princess Donut's excitement explodes. This is going to make exquisite television. Her head pops up with comedic timing while Carl's practical side takes control. We need to loot everything we can. Everything. The cluttered room around them promises rewards if they survive what's coming. The warehouse reveals its deadly treasures, crates and barrels stacked haphazardly around Carl's determined figure. The digital timer counts down mercilessly. 2 days and 18 hours until level collapse. Engineering interfaces glow as he examines the bomb cart, its barrels marked with red exclamation points. Time runs short, but sometimes the most dangerous tools provide the sweetest victories. Carl's hand grips the device as uncertainty clouds his features near the massive wooden door. Do you think Rory and Lorelei will be mad at me? Princess Donut's honest assessment stings, probably, but their goblin friends' dislike of the boss might work in their favor. The motorcycle revs with a powerful ring, masking Carl's whispered hope that they never find out. Ping announces the trigger's activation as Carl examines the canisters with green lids. His doubt grows. Is this enough? Black powder isn't meant for blowing things up, but it excels at throwing metal. Since they're still on the first floor, he calculates their enemy's limited strength. Either way, if this doesn't kill him, nothing will. Princess readies herself as Carl prepares for the moment of truth. Ready. Princess Donut's determination shines through her oversized yellow eyes as she positions herself for action. The large wooden doors creak open with mechanical precision. Do it. The command rings out as the fluffy cat launches forward with complete commitment. Meanwhile, the muscular man raises his weapon high,
bringing it down with a thunderous slam that echoes through the chamber. Go! Carl's desperate shout fuels his frantic sprint as he pushes the cart through the warehouse. Red energy lines trail behind the racing wheels while Princess Donut darts alongside him. Chalk and chunk echo as they barrel toward the double doors. The cart's momentum builds to a crescendo. Chunk fills the frame as their makeshift weapon hurtles toward its target. Violence erupts in vibrant red splashes as Carl questions his companion about the goblin chieftain's location. The muscular man with spiked hair sprints forward, his small round companion following closely. Yes, a huge, ugly goblin, comes the response, accompanied by the creature's comically wide eyes. Perfect. Carl's excitement builds as they move through the dark, blue-lit cavern toward their target. Princess Donut's exhaustion shows as she flops dramatically. My word, I do not like running. The angry goblin chieftain sits reading when Carl raises his device with determined fury. He was sitting down. Carl's shout cuts through the air. Blow it. Blow it good. His thumb finds the trigger with deadly precision. Click. The sound that will change everything forever. Princess Donut's casual observation chills the blood. There sure were a lot of babies in there, too. Carl's shocked what? Barely escapes his lips before the world explodes in brilliant yellow and orange fury. The sound effect crescendo as the devastating blast tears through everything. What horrors have they unleashed? What innocent lives have been caught in their ruthless pursuit of survival? Carl stumbles into Princess Donut with a resounding thud, frustration exploding from his lips. God damn it, Donut! His knees hit the ground as the horrifying realization crashes over him. Were there really babies in that cart? The crowned feline's golden eyes meet his with chilling certainty. Oh yes, there were a bunch of them. In the dim chamber, the green-skinned survivors reflect on their lost companions. The old ones, the pregnant ones, also helplessly cute. But then comes the damning observation that cuts through Carl's soul like a blade. I think you hit one of the baby Yodas with the cart. Blood splatters across the panels in violent red confirmation. Princess Donut's excitement pierces the guilt-heavy air. Oh, did you see your level? We're both level 8 now. But Carl's frustration bubbles over as they realize the game didn't grant them the cinematic boss battle graphics. No grand display for their brutal victory. Just cold, mechanical progression through murder. Carl's hands rake through his hair as the weight of his actions crushes down. God damn it. I know they were goblins, but killing babies? That's fucked up. The words hang in the air like poison. Princess Donut tries to rationalize it, but Carl's conscience burns like acid. I feel like an asshole. What kind of vile monster sticks babies in the boss room anyway? Princess Donut's outrage mirrors Carl's horror, but urgency overtakes emotion. We need to get our asses out of Dodge before they rock back up. Yet, as debris flies from another explosion, Donut admits the twisted truth. I do like it when you blow stuff up. I like a lot. Princess Donut's crowned head tilts with innocent curiosity. Ready? The bright waiting area feels surreal after their bloody escape. A cloaked figure enters the clinical space, and Carl eyes the food platter with cautious hunger. Are these for us? Even in this nightmare, basic needs persist. Carl exhales heavily, stress pouring from every pore. The corridor stretches before them, ominous and uncertain. 3 red skulls materialize in the air, a warning of death. But then, blessed relief. Freshly baked cookies appear like salvation. Princess Donut crunches into one with pure, simple joy. You stole my experience. Princess Donut's accusation rings out, but Carl remains calm in the bright room. We're in a party, Donut. We share. He sets down the plate of donuts like a peace offering. The crowned cat bonks her head against the treats with delighted eagerness, tension melting into playful banter. There, now we're even. Carl's satisfaction is short-lived as Princess Donut announces her urgent need. I'm gonna go wee. The waiting area's empty chairs and digital displays create an atmosphere of forced normalcy. But beneath the surface, tension simmers like a pot ready to boil over. The digital display counts down their doom. 2 days and 12 hours until level collapse. Over 3 million crawlers remain, but Carl knows the truth. I wonder how many people have just found a place to hunker down. The numbers tick down to 3,594,516. One less soul in this game of survival. One less heartbeat in the dark. Carl. The urgent shout echoes through the empty auditorium. He's here. He's in the bathroom. Panic floods the scene as the truth emerges. The killer. The guy who killed Rebecca. Princess Donut is trapped in the women's bathroom, and danger closes him like a vice. Frank Q. The name that will haunt their nightmares. Carl studies the interface with growing alarm. His dot wasn't there before. He has a stealth ability. Down the hallway, a man approaches with casual menace, spiked jacket, shorts, and a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Sorry, he says with mock politeness. I didn't mean to startle your cat. But his very presence screams danger. In a sterile hallway, Carl stands in nothing but beach shorts and flip-flops, Princess Donut growling protectively at his feet. The rugged stranger stares in disbelief. That is a cat, right? Carl explains his bathroom strategy, while the man's incredulity grows. Where are your pants? And your shoes? Survival makes fools of them all. The spiky-haired protagonist confronts Carl, labeled as royal bodyguard in heart-patterned attire. Have you been walking barefoot this whole time? The question carries weight beyond mere curiosity. He sounds like a cop, the protagonist muses, or someone used to being obeyed. Authority leaves its mark, even in this place of chaos. Carl faces the armored stranger, their conversation turning geographical. Probably because I was asleep in a safe room. It's probably a protection thing. But then Princess Donut explodes with fury, her small form trembling with rage. Accusations fly like arrows. Someone has killed Rebecca, and blood demands answers. The rugged man's eyes widen in shock. I thought that's what I'd heard. A talking cat. Holy shit. This fucking place continues to defy all logic and reason. But when he mentions Rebecca Wong, Princess Donut pounces on the admission like a prosecutor. He admits it. The criminal has confessed. Truth and assumption collide violently. I'm going to hit him with a magic missile. Carl's threat crackles with deadly intent, but the stranger raises defensive hands. It's not what it looks like. I didn't have a choice. His words carry the weight of regret, of circumstances beyond control. I'm sorry if you knew her. Death leaves its stain on everyone here. Carl probes deeper into the stranger's story, his royal bodyguard status adding authority to his questions. Is your partner also hiding in a bathroom? The answer comes heavy with loss. No, I'm alone. She died. Shot. The simple words carry the weight of a shattered partnership, of survival bought with blood. The truth emerges like poison from a wound. Rebecca Wong killed her. Now it's just me and my axe. But before the tension can explode further, an announcer's voice booms across the arena. Next up, we have a match between a burrow boss and a group of crawlers. The show must go on, even as lives hang in the balance. We missed the start of the show. Princess Donut's fury echoes through the futuristic chamber. This is your fault. But Carl's mind races with tactical awareness. I need to play this very, very carefully. The only way out of here is the way we came in. They're trapped, and every wrong move could be their last. Did you see the last episode of the show? Carl's seemingly casual question carries hidden weight. The stranger confirms he watched from a safe room 3 miles east. So, tell us your story. The invitation hangs in the air like a challenge. In this place, every story is a confession, every truth a potential weapon. My partner and we're in customs enforcement. The bodyguard's correction stings with fresh grief. He means they were with ICE, Carl realizes. We've been staking out this warehouse for a while, trying to bust up this Chinese human trafficking operation. Law enforcement, even here, even now, some duties transcend dimensions. When the collapse came, it was us and 15 traffickers who'd been on a smoke break. The massive creature looms overhead as the stranger recalls the chaos. We identified ourselves, they opened fire. Then the dungeon opened under our feet. Some of us fell in. Authority means nothing when reality itself cracks open. Including Rebecca Wong. She was the ringleader, the worst of the lot. The stranger's confession pours out like blood from a wound. I thought I was going to die. She shot me 3 times before I shot her. Right in the heart. Justice and survival blur together in this broken world where badges mean nothing. The stranger's tale grows darker. My partner, Maggie, got one of them, and the other ran. But when he tried to find the third, horror struck. This giant alien monster came out of this pod, and it fucking ate him. The match draw notification flashes as blood pools around fallen creatures. Survival requires adaptation, even to the impossible. Princess Donut's compassion breaks through the tension. You poor man. I'm just devastated about your partner. Her tiny paw touches the stranger's shoulder in genuine sympathy. I appreciate that, he responds, his tough exterior cracking just enough to reveal the human underneath. Even in hell, kindness survives. Hey, since you looted those guys, do you have any pants that might fit me? The practical question breaks the emotional moment. Sure, boss. But beneath the surface, hidden communications flow. Don't say anything out loud. Can you see this? What is happening? Secret channels open in this game of survival and deception. Silent warnings flash between the players. I think Frank is going to try to hurt or incapacitate us. Do not react. Do not fight back at all. Carl's urgent message carries desperate weight. Whatever you do, don't fire a magic missile. Trust becomes the only currency worth anything when death stalks every shadow. Carl holds up the bloodied pants with grim satisfaction. Thanks. But his hidden message screams danger. I think there's somebody else in here with us, getting ready to jump us. We're going to have to run. Get ready. I do not like this, Carl. Princess Donut's instincts mirror his growing terror. Stop. The bloodstained pants tell their own story of violence as Carl grips them tightly. His secret communications paint a picture of imminent doom. I'm going to present an opening. I want to entice him into action. The red skulls in the interface confirm what his instincts already know. Death approaches on silent feet. Stop. The command echoes through the corridor as the figure in polka dot pants tries to flee. But violence erupts with brutal efficiency. The muscular man's gun speaks with final authority, dramatic lines emphasizing the sudden, shocking impact. The fluffy dog watches as another life ends in this game, where hesitation equals death. What the hell happened to my cat? Carl's anguished cry pierces the air as transformation strikes without warning. The humanoid mouse character tries to explain, nothing can actually harm a crawler in a safe room. But if it was transformation, the tutorial guild would have teleported her away. Logic battles fear in this place where nothing makes sense. Carl! Carl! The urgent shouts fill the bright chamber as Carl clutches the transformed Princess Donut. We gotta run. They were going to kill us. His grip tightens on the pink creature that was once his feline companion. How did you know? Are you psychic? Magic and murder intertwine in ways that defy all understanding. The interface reveals the chilling truth. Crawler killer skulls. 8 people, they've killed 8 people. Carl's grip tightens on his device as he processes the horror. But I can't touch them without getting frozen too. The system protects murderers while innocent blood stains the floors. What kind of game is this? Carl gulps down the mysterious potion as Princess Donut watches with confusion. I just don't understand. Why would they do that? The answer comes like poison. For our stuff, for our experience points, for fun. But something's wrong. That's weird. There's red dots, but I don't see. The hunters have become the hunted. The rot sticker glows ominously in Carl's trembling hand. These kamikaze-loving rodents are popping up everywhere. His face twists in horrified realization as the creature buzzes with deadly energy. Oh, foo. But there's no time for complete thoughts when death comes in small, explosive packages. Boom! The explosion rocks the chamber as Carl staggers backward. Holy shit, that hurt. Princess Donut skids away from the blast while more of the glowing creatures appear. Their round bodies pulse with malevolent energy tiny limbs scrambling across the floor. These aren't just monsters. They're living grenades with attitude. Carl runs frantically through the blood-stained hall, his checkered pajama pants a comical contrast to the grim scene. Wait, Princess Donut questions their retreat. Why are we running from Frank, Hugh, and Maggie Mai? Look at how powerful we are. We can take them. But Carl's doubt cuts through her confidence. I don't know if we can. The muscular stranger's words carry the weight of hard truth. He's right, but if we don't stop them, they'll hurt somebody else. Princess Donut's regal presence adds gravity to the moment as moral duty wars with survival instinct. The decision hangs in the air like smoke. Finally, Carl's response comes loaded with grim determination. Fuck. If we can't take them head on, then maybe we can lay a trap. Carl's tactical mind kicks into gear as he grips the goblin smoke bomb. I can't read the status of bombs in my inventory, so it shouldn't show in here. It doesn't. Good. Sometimes the system's limitations become their greatest advantages. The device flickers ominously in Carl's grip, its stability plummeting from 89 to 34. Jesus, just handling it for a few seconds brought its stability down. Discharge imminent flashes across his interface as danger levels spike. He looted Rebecca of everything, even her clothes. The only thing he left was that damn apple core. Carl prepares the ultimate gambit, lighter and explosive in his hands. The second he pulls this out, it'll blow. Princess Donut watches as her companion embraces the madness. I bet that Frank Ginium wasn't even a real person. Sometimes victory requires becoming the very monster you're fighting. Sometimes there's no other choice. Blood stains the stranger's hands as he walks away from another corpse. Killed by crawler Frank Hugh, the interface tells its own grim story. That Rebecca woman was level 3, he notes while accessing his inventory system. I've activated your inventory system. Even death becomes a transaction in this place where humanity slowly bleeds away. Carl's shock explodes across his features. She did what? Princess Donut's revelation about Miss Beatrice's romantic complexity hits like a slap. Meanwhile, urgent communications flow through hidden channels. I don't care, B. Stay in the Bahamas. The hologram of Cascadia shimmers into existence. Another piece of this impossible puzzle clicking into place. Hello, crawlers. Another excellent, exciting day. The red-haired announcer's cheerful demeanor contrasts sharply with a bloody rat corpse and nervous contestants. First off, we want to assure everyone that we have quashed all the bugs with the new toilets. Exploding toilets. Malfunctioning suction. This place makes death an administrative detail. The wild-haired host revs his purple motorcycle as the announcement concludes. That's it for now. Keep up the good work and kill, kill, kill. The cute creature with the crown cuddles on the bike while chaos swirls around them. We didn't get to see the rest of the show. Do you think we were on it? Fame and death dance together in this twisted theater. Virum. Carl speeds down the corridor on his motorcycle, leaving trails of light and urgency. The scene shifts to a clinical waiting room where armed officers point weapons at a startled blonde woman in white. Mom? Dad? The desperate question cuts through the tension like a knife. Family becomes the cruelest casualty of all. Broom. Carl rockets through the stone tunnel, his motorcycle skills reaching new heights. You've gained a skill level. Your chopper pilot skill has reached level 5. You can now double the throttle to increase your speed. Even in chaos, growth continues. Even in hell, there are achievements to unlock. Carl slumps in a modern cafe, exhaustion carved into every line of his face. We haven't been able to rest since. God, how long has it been since we last slept? At least a day, maybe 2. But then the system delivers its cruelest blow. New achievement. You monster. You've killed an infant. An infant. Even victory tastes like ash. The system's cheerful explanation does nothing to ease the horror. Children mobs don't actually perish. They're transferred to a safe holding area until they can be reunited with their loving parents. The cartoonish ant sits on his throne surrounded by small green creatures saying da-da. You've also received a bronze assholes box. What kind of world celebrates the murder of innocence? The system mocks Carl with cruel efficiency. A wooden chest adorned with a pink star materializes, announcing his newest achievement. The answer to its twisted riddle? Him. He's the monster. The chest bursts open, revealing his face labeled asshole in holographic mockery. But the game isn't done. A gold assholes box appears, rewarding his violence with upgrades. Carl examines his demolitions workshop interface, his explosive skills reaching new heights. Level 5 in dangerous explosives handling. Level 5 in goblin explosives. But when he tries to access the workshop, reality strikes. Error message. He needs a sapper's table to proceed. The game taunts him even in progress, dangling upgrades just out of reach. Princess Donut's eyes sparkle with delight as treasure chests hover in magical splendor. The bronze boss box gleams with promise. Then comes the silver beguiler box, radiating mystical energy. Donut proclaims her triumph with feline pride. She charmed all the goblins. Her royal status isn't just for show. It's earned through cunning and charisma. The Desperado Pass materializes before them. Carl reads its description with growing dread. Donut's now part of the rebellious kids who sit in the back of the bus. What would her mother say? But it's the mention of a tattoo that sends the royal cat into absolute panic. Her pristine fur marked forever. The horror echoes through the digital realm. Donut hyperventilates. Her crown askew as panic consumes her. A disqualifying mark. She's damaged goods now, branded by the system's cruel judgment. Her royal dignity crumbles as she contemplates this permanent stain on her reputation. Carl tries to comfort his feline companion. But how do you console a princess who's been marked as damaged? Carl offers Donut a chance at redemption, a new outfit to try on. She hesitates, sniffing with uncertainty. Will this magical garment restore her dignity? As enchanting energy swirls around her fluffy form, hope flickers in her yellow eyes. But the question that haunts her remains. Will it cover the dreaded tattoo that marks her shame? Reality crushes hope. The new outfit doesn't cover the tattoo, not even close. But Carl reassures her it looks great anyway. Donut turns to her spellbook, desperate for magical solutions. Error. She needs 50 mana to cast anything useful. The system denies her again. She sits deflated, a crown-wearing cat defeated by digital bureaucracy. The bronze boss box explodes in brilliant light, spilling treasures across the floor. Scroll of confusing fog. Explosive materials. Carl grins as he discovers the Ring of Constitution +2, a 20% boost to his durability. His excitement is infectious as he considers sharing the bounty. I need to get some of this gear for Donut too. Carl winces from unseen pain, his muscular frame tensed. He holds Donut close, her distressed expression reflecting their shared trauma. A vibrant potion bottle catches the light, promising magical relief. But Carl's mind wanders to more practical concerns. Why does he never get pants or shoes? Even in this hellish game, proper footwear remains elusive. Carl's excitement bubbles over as his new cloak swishes dramatically. Look how it moves when he spins. The simple joy cuts through their grim reality. Later, exhaustion claims him as he yawns in a garden setting. Donut curls beside him, both contemplating that ugly tattoo. But in the shadows, a voice whispers ominously about family. The peace won't last. Carl presses his hand to his forehead, memories flooding back. A shadowy figure accuses him. You monster. But Carl knows the truth. This game doesn't care that it killed children. The room was set up for it. They were supposed to clear out the workshop. The system wanted him to trigger that explosion. It was all planned. The weight of guilt spreads through multiple characters. A green-skinned figure slumped on his throne reflects on those who existed only to die. A red-haired girl reassures herself it's not her fault. Carl lies in bed, still feeling like an asshole despite knowing the truth. Did the others survive? The uncertainty gnaws at him. Carl's defiance burns bright as he declares ownership. This whole place is from my world. They stole it from us. His jaw clenches with determination. The aliens might hurt him, might even kill him, but they will not break his spirit. Donut purrs beside him, a small comfort in their shared rebellion against cosmic tyranny. Carl's blue eyes blaze with unshakable resolve. You will not break me, he vows to unseen tormentors. The timer counts down, 40 hours until level collapse. He writes crucial information on the dungeon wall. 2 crossroads east, 3 south, stairs and people. Donut senses danger in the air. Do you think it's a trap? Maybe, but they press on. Blood smears the wall, still fresh. Only hours old. Carl examines the grim evidence while his companions shoulders their gear. They discover a looted corpse, a chilly goat killed by Brandon and Chris. The names burn into Carl's memory. Let's go find them, he declares, mounting his chopper. His pilot skill levels up as he rockets through corridors of vengeance. Carl races toward a crossroads, graffiti marking their path. One crossroad south. Donut suddenly calls for him to stop, her keen senses detecting something crucial. A holographic map materializes, highlighting the stairwell in brilliant blue. What's in there? Carl asks, leaning closer. The mystery deepens as Donut points to writing on the ground below. In the stone chamber, Donut sniffs the ground with feline precision. A message warns them about the path ahead. This road is safe. But venture deeper into the spiral, and they'll activate the burrow boss. Carl's face darkens with concern. How the hell are they supposed to defeat a burrow boss? The odds seem impossible. Something massive moves in the depths ahead. Carl feels its presence, fast, powerful, enormous. The Gothic corridors seem to pulse with menace as rumbles echo through stone. His blue eyes narrow with calculation. Whatever lurks in there would slam down the moment they enter. They need a different approach to this deadly puzzle. More doors stretch deeper into the labyrinth. Are they supposed to treat it like a maze? The stench of sewage assaults their senses, making Carl grimace in disgust. My heavens, this is going to be unpleasant, Donut observes with royal understatement. They steel themselves to find whoever's making these helpful signs in this reeking hell. Carl's face lights up with excitement as he spots the gathering. Look at how many people there are. Nearly 40 survivors clustered together. Donut perches on his shoulder as his tactical mind races. With 40 people, they could take on a burrow boss easily, depending on their levels. Hope flickers as he calls out to the group ahead. Reality crashes down like a brick wall. They're all old, Carl states with dawning disbelief. Not just old, they're ancient, fragile, barely clinging to life. An elderly man in a red hat mumbles about his sandals, his frail voice echoing in the stone hall. Carl's tactical dreams crumble. Oh, thank God, he sighs, unsure if it's relief or despair. Carl confirms he saw their signs, admitting he's not alone. Chris Andrews introduces himself, level 6, human, class unassigned. But it's Carl's formal introduction that steals the show. Royal bodyguard Carl of the royal court of Princess Donut. The tiny creature beside him bristles with annoyance at being overlooked. Even in hell, protocol matters. Carl apologizes for the mistaken identity, realizing he'd confused the girl's name. He introduces Princess Donut with obvious pride. She talks, and probably has higher stats than anyone here. The boy in blue kneels to meet the royal feline properly. It's nice to meet you, Princess Donut, he says respectfully. Even cats command respect in this twisted world. Yolanda celebrates their successful signage strategy. Our signs worked, but the mood darkens when red skull icons appear, marking danger. A curly-haired figure in striped robes observes with ominous intensity. Carl receives an urgent warning. Carl, it is another vile murderer. The tension spikes as they face another potential threat in their fragile sanctuary. The warning echoes through the hall. Carl, it is another vile murderer. But Carl's instincts tell him differently. I don't think so. Not this time. His voice carries quiet confidence as elderly survivors huddle anxiously behind him. He adds with mild exasperation that the all-caps typing makes it sound like yelling. Even AI companions need communication lessons. Yolanda introduces herself with a firm handshake, her quiver of arrows marking her as the group's archer. She explains their dire situation. Night staff from an elder care facility in Wenatchee forced to evacuate because someone started a barrel fire outside their building. The chaos brought firefighters and police, then this. An elderly man mutters angrily about the disruption. An elderly man in a checkered hat spray paints a red, smiley face on the wall, smugly declaring everything was under control before the incident. He scolds his companion not to waste the spray paint, claiming ownership. The young man in the blue jumpsuit protests. The paint was stolen from him, and he stole it from someone named Stays. Even in crisis, petty theft continues. Carl asks how they got down to this level. The caretaker explains that Agatha pushed her cart right onto the stairs like she was compelled. It wanted her to come on down. Carl realizes with growing unease. He suggests moving everyone to a safe room for comfort. But the response is musical. Their destination is already full. Even refuge has limits. The revelation hits like a punchline. It's a damn Waffle House from Alabama. Only space for 30 people. A green-skinned server with blonde curls cheerfully serves waffles while elderly patrons enjoy their meal. Music notes float through the air as someone sings inside. The Waffle House folks voted to stay put rather than venture out. Even the apocalypse can't close a Waffle House. Carl gestures toward a red door, outlining his plan. These folks are the ones they're taking to level 3. If they can change their class or species, maybe there's hope. He mentions fixing the bathroom bug. No more explosions when someone enters. They found Mistress Tia, a tutorial guide helping them navigate this nightmare. Blood stains the stairs, a reminder of recent violence. The dark truth emerges in hushed tones. They were taking residents to Mistress Tia when attackers struck. Imani wielded a sword, cutting down the elderly. But the speaker's voice carries a chilling rationalization. It was for the better. They were suffering. Blood splatters the ground as moral justification crumbles into horror. When mercy becomes murder, who decides what's right? The grim accounting continues. Most cops and paramedics went into the spiral. 5 minutes later, the gates opened again, empty. The rest went searching for food and safe places. Carl's voice carries finality. They're all dead. The party menu shows when others die, turning death into a digital notification. Reality has become a cruel spreadsheet of loss. An elderly woman in a wheelchair shares the horror with gentle strokes to a crown-wearing cat. They were picked off one by something hunting them. Even Dr. Gracie fell, and she was an MMA fighter. Now only 4 non-residents remain, plus Agatha. Carl watches with growing dread. What a nightmare, he thinks, the understatement of the apocalypse. Carl observes the broken survivors with newfound perspective. He thought he'd had it bad, but these people face an impossible situation. They shouldn't be here. This place isn't meant for the weak, the frail. An elderly man in glasses suggests the smart thing would be to give up. The world's over. Yet they persist, fragile defiance against cosmic cruelty. Carl sighs deeply, contemplating mortality. If I'm going to die, but then his resolve crystallizes. I might as well do it in the pursuit of a worthy cause. He straightens, determination replacing despair. They discuss other rest areas that aren't full, searching for options. Outside on cobbled streets, old residents sit in tattered clothing, waiting for whatever comes next. Carl takes charge with commanding presence. He and Donut will spend the day grinding for skills. If they can pry spray cans from Agatha, he'll take them along. An elderly man with a shopping cart hisses protectively over his supplies. Carl warns about dangerous creatures with skulls for names, like Frank and Maggie, murderers they've encountered. Everyone needs to level up. Carl outlines their ultimate mission with steely resolve. All of them, Carl, Donut, and the 4 survivors, will venture into that nightmare. They're going to get these people down those stairs, no matter the cost. When questioned about their chances, Carl's confidence never wavers. Don't worry, he declares with the certainty of someone who's already died once. I have an idea.